My next guest considers himself lucky to be alive. It was while he was filming Trigger Point in 2021 that he actually passed out in a taxi, and he woke up in hospital to discover that he had a benign brain tumour. Now, comedian Miles Jupp is back on stage in a sold-out tour on a bang, inspired by his health scare, and he joins me now. And I know that it's been extended because it was so successful last year. By public demand.
By public demand.
You are back out there.
Well, also
banging on.
By my demand as well. I mean, you know, it's not a hostage situation. I'm allowed to say, please, can I do more? Yeah, that's very strange watching that clip there, then, of Trigger Point, in which I'm...
I know.
Shorter hair, but a little bit bigger. That is about an hour and a half,
geez,
probably, before
Miles.
the seizure. It's quite strange. I look quite blinky in it, but then also... I can remember that I decided that my character would have his lines written on an index card in front of him, so maybe I was just
peering
down.
Just peering at.
Well, he's like a radio presenter, so he would be. You'd have a script, wouldn't you? It's perfectly professional behaviour. But yeah, that's what I was doing when this happened. Yeah, 2021. I'd been dropped off at the sort of unit base where the trailers are, and suddenly I was, you know, really unwell. Out of nowhere. Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, did you have any sort of indication that things went right? Did you feel weird at all, or did it just...
No, it just sort of out of a clear blue sky. I had like a little flashing in my left eye when I was in the car, and then felt a bit weird. But I knew instantly, I have no medical background, but I thought I definitely need...
You know when something's serious.
I thought this doesn't feel right. And I guess I got quite sort of panicky. I mean, it's terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
And then just, you know, someone was going, "You look really dizzy," and the floor was coming towards me. And then I came round and people were holding me in the recovery position, thankfully. I mean, because it happened near... I could have been in a... I mean, that's the dangerous bit. I could have been in a locked room. I could have been driving. I happened to just be in full view of other people with a sort of, mercifully, a calm, professional temperament.
Gosh, that's extraordinary. And I mean, you're better, of course you are, but something like that does change you. I mean, we saw recently, gosh, not all that long ago, Davina McCall had the same sort of thing. You know, everybody's experience is different.
Yeah.
The same sort of thing. So it does change you, I would imagine.
Well, I mean, if you didn't have an experience like that and then think really hard about life, then you'd have to be some sort of psychopath, wouldn't you, essentially? And so, yeah, you think about how lucky you are, and also think about how unlucky other people are, and it sort of changes your perspective. It's very good as a way of having a new prism to view life through.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, of course, you do find yourself back. You know, you have surgery. They say the point is that you go back to being normal the way you are, but that means that you go back to all the things that were still really wrong with you, how sort of irritable you are, or how kind of disproportionately angry you get about things that probably don't matter, or grudges that you continue to bear, and whatever. And that's part of being normal,
of course
not my version of normal, Lorraine.
Exactly.
So that, goodness, it makes you think. But that thing of talking about it with other people is what's... I didn't really think about that aspect of, you know, doing the show. I thought, right, well, I'll tell that story and I'll put jokes in, and that'll be it. But it hadn't occurred to me, weirdly, that people would come to see the show because they had an interest in that aspect of it, about, you know, their relative or they maybe going through a similar situation. And it's great that it means that I've met people for the first time that have been through a similar thing, which I simply hadn't before. And talking about people at the same stage or different stages of treatment or getting better is fantastically sort of...
Yeah, it's great. Because of what you do, you have used that experience for humour, because we do that, the British especially.
Yeah.
We find humour in the darkest times to get us through the darkest times in many ways. But you have found humour in this, and it's worked, for goodness sake. It really has.
Well, hopefully, yeah. I mean, bits of it, of course, are quite serious because the story within it, the spine of it, is a kind of serious...
Of course.
Serious thing. But luckily, I'm a ludicrous idiot. So along the way, one gets to encounter sort of various indignities and that sort of thing.
And you can make it funny, make it relatable and all of that. You protected your kids. You've got 5 kids.
That's right, yeah.
And you protected them from that, but... Your son came along to see the show, so he would be sitting in the audience and not realising that this had happened to you.
Yeah, well, four of my children have seen the show.
Have they seen it now, right?
Now, yeah. But when my eldest and his sister came, the first thing he said afterwards was, "I didn't know loads of that."
Ah.
And I thought, gosh, I didn't... Yes, by that point, it was 2.5 years past or whatever it might be. But yeah, I realised, gosh, and I don't know if that's a healthy way to present all this information, but easier than giving it to him all at once at the time.
Well, that's true.
You know, when I was... ill first. I didn't tell people about it. And once I was sort of better, then I wanted to tell people about it, but always face to face, because you can't text someone and say, by the way, this thing's happened, but I'm back to normal, I'm completely fine, don't worry about me.
Yeah.
So I preferred to do it sort of face to face if one got the opportunity. And so in a way, I guess getting that information, you know, it's spoiler alert, I'm fine at the end. So, you know, you can then see the information
it's
unfold,
a different way.
knowing
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
Exactly. You are having such a varied career when you think about it. I mean, going away back to Balamori and all of that, which is coming back, I know. Away back to all of that, and then, you know, working with George Clooney on that brilliant film that you
that afternoon.
Yeah, no, but that's still great, you know. And I've just seen you, and now we were talking about this, weren't we, Miles? I'm obsessed by the SAS. You know, that drama is just fantastic. And of course, you were in the first
I have to say,
episode.
that you are obsessed with the SAS is honestly a surprise to me, Lorraine. I can see their appeal, and you know,
but it's such
a very useful resource to be able to call on. But it's an unlikely, unlikely
but
obsession.
Rogue Heroes, it's so good. And again, though, it goes back to that thing of finding humour in the darkest times.
Yeah.
And I don't think those guys would get through that at that time without the humour.
Without the odd laugh.
And that comes
the odd
through. That comes through. So it's just, you know, you do all these incredibly different things.
Yeah, well, I guess it's... I used to think, oh, I'll try and do various things and then see what sticks, whatever. And then you get older and you think, well, actually, it's all right to keep doing things.
Yeah,
it's nice to
do this, of course.
On the one hand, yes, it's lovely being in a... I don't know, being in a film with somebody big or whatever, but I also think it's really nice walking on stage at, you know, a nice intimate theatre and doing a sort of one-man show.
Absolutely.
So there doesn't seem to be a need to choose between these things.
Should,
and also, you have no control over one's life. You get offered things and you don't, and you can say yes and you can say no.
It's a funny old life, isn't it? You're like a taxi cab for hire.
Yeah,
it's really odd. You do a podcast as well on cricket. I'm not a huge, massive fan of cricket.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Lorraine.
But I might be now. Listen, what's it called?
It's called Middle Please Umpire. It is with the nicest man in the world, possibly, Mark Wood, who is he bowls at 96.7 miles an hour. He's from Ashington in Northumberland, and he has the most fantastic accent. He's a delightful man, and he's not, to me, he doesn't seem like other sports people. He's terrific, and he's introduced me to gravy on chips, which is absolutely...
Is that the first time you've had gravy on chips?
Yeah.
Oh, for goodness
when were you introduced to this?
From a child, from weaning. Yeah. I was weaned on chips.
Weaned on gravy, yeah.
Absolutely. You, sir, are a good egg. You really are.
That's very nice of you. Thank you.
And the second leg of your tour, On I Bang, I hope you bang on for a very long time. It starts tomorrow?
It starts tomorrow,
yeah,
in Corsham tomorrow, and then I'll be down to West Wales on Friday, Milford Haven, and then we really are yomping about. But I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's fun.
Just keep banging on. Just keep doing it.
I'll do as I can, Lorraine. Thank you very much.
Miles. Great to see you. Well, that's a wrap for this video. We hope you enjoyed it. We have all the best moments from the show right here on the channel. And if you like this video, then we think you'll love this one. See you next time.